This is Charlie Stocker with Hey Garden Guy. Charlie Stocker, Facebook, heygardenguy.com, our website. We answer questions. We do a video. You get a new video every day. And today I want to do a series, about 3 videos the next 3 days, on bulbs. And bulbs are identified as plants that store energy in underground storage organs. This is actually a plant. Now, tulips, daffodils, and hyacinths would be included in this bulb. And what makes a bulb is the basal plate, that's what you see at the bottom, and then the tunic, which is the outer portion, and then I've cut a tulip in half, and you're looking at what they call the scales. And this is actually a plant that's storing food in its dormancy state to come back the next spring and flower as you know them. Now here's the question everybody has on tulips. I plant my tulips, I really enjoy the flowering process the next spring, and then we go through a season and come back the next year, and voila, I have a third the number of blooms that I had the first year. Why is that? My grandmother planted bulbs, and they seem to come back and proliferate from one year to the next. And these are basically members of the onion family. What's the problem? Well, in an ideal situation, these bulbs were groomed to bloom. They were grown over in Holland. They were planted, and they were planted in the fall. And in the fall, they develop their roots. Then they get into the winter, and they're dormant, of course. And in the springtime, they put up their flower. Well, right away in Holland, what they do is they trim that stem off even before it flowers. So all of the energy from that plant can go into developing a large bulb, okay? Then, after they've let the leaves of the tulip develop for 6 weeks and even feed that bulb more, the bulb goes into dormancy in early summer. So what do? They dig the bulb up and they put it in a climate-controlled warehouse where it can be very dry, just like where the bulb came from, which is Central Asia. Then, in the fall, never before the time that it needs to be, they ship those bulbs to the United States, and then we're ready to plant them at the proper time. In our garden situation, we plant these bulbs, and instead of trimming it off and allowing the bulb to develop, we want the flower, and that's obvious. That's the reason we purchase them. But what happens is we plant them in heavy clay soils, and generally we plant these bulbs in an area where we also have landscaping plants. And what do we have to do with landscaping plants through the season? We have to water them. So these not only are in heavy soils, but in addition, they are waterlogged through their dormant season, which is the summertime, which is just the opposite of what they do in Holland. So everything that we do for these plants to flower the second year is opposite of what they really need. So tulips were really not meant in our area to be perennials, to come back year after year. You just have to accept that, unless you're willing to dig those bulbs up on a regular, every year, and put them in a climate-controlled environment where it's dry. You're really going to have to purchase tulips about every other year. The tulips that are really developed for perennializing, let's say, would be the Darwinian tulips, would be the Fosteriana tulips, that's what you want to look for, and the wild species tulips. Those 3 cultivars or groups of tulips are the ones that really will come back year after year, even if they are waterlogged, even if they are planted in heavy soils, and you'll have success with them. Some people say, well, Charlie, tulips aren't worth the price that you pay for them. But let me just do some math here. Tulips bloom an average of 17 days a year. 17 times, now that's, you're going to enjoy them for that time frame. That's 408 hours of bloom time. Now let's look at some recreational activities that you have. A one-night stay in a hotel, which is about 21 hours, is $100. A Disney pass, which you enjoy for about 14 hours, is $100. An NBA, maybe 2 NBA tickets is $100, and that's 4 hours worth of enjoyment. You get my drift? Then you go to $100 worth of tulips, and you get 408 hours of enjoyment. So think about it. Tulips are a good investment, even if you do have to plant them every other year. This is Charlie Stalker with Hey Garden Guy. Have a great day.